Hello everyone and welcome to Changeling Gaming. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Gloom. Gloom is a level 2 pick up and play storytelling game for 2 to 5 players that takes on average 45 minutes to an hour to play. Gloom is a game about a series of unfortunately miserable events where each player endeavors to eradicate every member of their much derided and despondent household in horrific and fearsome fashion. Setup. Each player selects one of the families to play and collects all the family members of that color. In a 4-player game, each player chooses one of their 5 characters to not play with, and in a 5-player game, the 5th player takes the 4 discarded characters to create a new family of misfits. Place the player aids within easy reach for all to access and reference. Shuffle the deck of modifier, event, and untimely death cards together. Deal 5 cards to each player, and set the rest of the deck in the middle of the table within reach of every player. How to play. The goal of the game is to have as miserable a group of dead family members as possible. Only dead family members will count their misery towards the end score. It doesn't matter how miserable or happy people are if they're still alive at the end of the game. The game ends as soon as all the members of a single family are dead. On a player's turn, they take 2 actions, though only the first action can be used to play an untimely death card. The full list of actions is: play an untimely death card. You can play an untimely death card on any living character so long as they have a negative self-worth score. So you can kill an opponent's family member who's only slightly unhappy with life, locking in a bad score for another player. A number of these death cards can also reference the story icons in the bottom right of various modifier cards. Play a modifier card. These are the cards that determine the self-worth score of individual family members and can be played on your own characters or those controlled by your opponents so long as they are living. Each of these cards have up to 3 values on the left-hand side of the card, which can be negative, null, or positive. Adding these scores together determines that character's current self-worth. As you play these cards on top of each other, they might obscure some of the values beneath. These obscured values no longer apply. It is only the values that are currently visible that count. In the bottom right-hand corner of many modifier cards is also a story icon, which indicates the thematic nature of the most recent occurrence to the character. For instance, being startled by snakes involves beasts. Finally, the bottom text box will also contain various effects. These will only apply to the player controlling the character on whom the card was played. These cards will have either ongoing or immediate effects, which can be identified by these symbols. Immediate effects only occur when the cards first enter play and not if they are moved. Ongoing effects continue for as long as the text box is visible. When it gets covered up, that effect no longer applies. Play an event card. These cards have a signature colored design different from other cards and have a variety of unique and powerful effects, including bringing characters back to life, swapping modifier cards, or negating other cards. Event cards are either immediate effects or response effects. Response effects are the only kinds of cards that can be used on another player's turn, and they will clarify what they can be played in response to on the card. Discard your hand. You can discard all the cards in your hand if you don't want any of them, but note that you will only redraw after both your actions are complete. Pass. You can ignore one or both of your actions if you don't want to take them. Some cards might grant you free plays. These do not count as either of your 2 actions and can allow you to play untimely death cards if specified on the card. Playing these untimely death cards is not restricted by the rule that they can only be played as the first action on a player's turn. After taking your 2 actions, draw up to your current hand limit. The default hand limit is 5 cards, though modifier cards can increase or decrease this limit. If you wind up with more than your hand limit, you do not need to discard down. Instead, you keep the extra cards and do not draw until you are below your hand limit. As soon as the last member of any player's family is dead, the game comes to an end. Tally up the scores visible on all the dead characters in your family, and whoever has the lowest score is the winner, with the most miserable family. Storytelling. What really makes this game sing is the storytelling aspect of the game. This is where each player takes the time to spin the tale of how the effects on the card played have come to pass, and why they've made the character or characters affected feel the way they're feeling. While this is technically an optional rule, it does really help bring the game to life and overcome its morbid theming. So go out and make your family miserable, guiding them to their unfortunate ends, and prove yourself to be the worst influence, generating more gloom than anyone else at the table. But tell the tales in a manner most amusing for those seated to satiate your lust for stories. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to pose them in the comments below, or take a look to see if someone else has already answered it down there, and be sure to thank them if they have. If you want to learn more about what our ranking system means, check out this video here. And if you want to learn how to play more games, check out our playlist here. And remember, keep changing, keep gaming, have fun.